Recognize that song that was playing when you came in? Oh, yeah. I wanted to get the theme for Godzilla, but they said it was loud and metal sounds. That you guys would love it. All right, let's get started. Oh, do we have some prizes?
Yes.
Yes, t-shirts.
Everyone get a hand.
Yes.
So raise your hand.
We're gonna win t-shirts.
All right.
Raise your hand. All right. Anyone know who Rowdy is? What? Who's Rowdy? What is it?
A river hawk.
A riverhawk. Got a prize. Let's hear it. What's that?
That group can't answer it.
Have they been stacking them up?
Yeah, look at all their.
All right, let me ask you all a
Answer
question.
this one.
Yeah.
Is
Do
there
you want a
really such an
t-shirt
animal
or
as a riverhawk?
Taking on a t-shirt.
No.
large or medium?
All right, more importantly, does anybody know where the riverhawk
We
came
have a whole
from?
collection of t-shirts with it.
How we ended up with a riverhawk?
After
I don't even
What's
know
that? After the Chiefs, yes, but I want a little more than that. Anybody? Yes? Good guess, or no? Good guess. The Riverhawk, so our name was the Chiefs, right? And so out of respect for Native Americans, we decided it was time to change it. And they actually had a competition a number of years ago. And the name Riverhawk actually came from an elementary school kid. A school child said, what about a Riverhawk? You're on the river and the hawks are fighting. And it just sort of stuck. And we've adopted that name, and now you get to see Rowdy everywhere. Anyone been to a hockey game here? A lot of fun, especially this last season. Any hockey players here? Right, yeah, okay. I'm crossing my fingers for the next season. All right, folks, let me get started here. You have a prize for them?
For this one?
Yes. Yeah, they guessed something. All right. My name is Steve Tello. Poor Johnny, he's trying to take this, and I'm walking all over.
You're killing me.
My name is Steve Tello. I'm Associate Vice Chancellor for Entrepreneurship at the university. I also teach at the business school. And I'm here today to talk to you about a program we have at UMass Lowell called Difference Maker. Have any of you heard about it yet? You have. How'd you hear about it?
Well, actually, I have a teacher, and she
Oh, Savannah.
Savannah Marshall. Anybody know? Do you know what Savannah's company's called?
Fresh Beats.
Fresh Beats. Savannah's company pitched in this room on April
16.
15. And she won, I think, $3,500 to develop. She wants to develop a food truck called Fresh Beats that mixes music with good food and music lessons in the community. So that's a great example. I'm glad Savannah's awesome. Most of our difference makers are awesome. They're all awesome. So what is Difference Maker? The idea here, it's a program that's meant to introduce you to creative problem solving, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And the reason we want to do this is because we know that you all will go through school here. We know you'll get a good education. We have great programs, we have great faculty, and we're very good at helping to get people ready to go to work with a good, solid profession. But we want to do more of that. We have to do more of that, and we're asking you to do more. And that's what Difference Maker is about. It's about doing that 110%. It's about taking that education, it's about looking at problems in the world that you care about, and then it's about developing and implementing solutions that address those problems. Difference Maker does a lot of different things, but at the core, that's really what this program is about. It's about you getting a good education and then taking that education to make a difference in the world. So what do? Difference Maker, we do a lot of different things. We have, so you'll see us today, you'll see us again, Convocation. Anybody know what Convocation is?
Big party.
Yes, what is it?
Like our introduction to the school when we're accepting.
Absolutely, Convocation. It's your welcome. It's the day before classes start. We invite all the freshmen to a meeting. Part of it's formal. You'll get to meet the big wigs, bigger than me. And we'll also do a pitch contest there. So you'll see us at Convocation. We'll be back at Convocation. We'll have a pitch contest there. You'll see us, how many dorm students? How many are moving into a dorm? Awesome, lots of fun. You'll see us on move-in weekend, Labor Day weekend, when you move in the dorms. We'll be there. We'll be there throughout the next 4 years. So we have pitch contests. We'll have an entrepreneurship month in October where there'll be different activities going on. We have the big Difference Maker Idea Challenge, which is up to $35,000. That was the event Savannah Marshall participated in. Not only do we want to help you to think about solving problems that matter, we're actually going to give you money to help solve them. We gave away $35,000 in this room on the 15th to 10 teams. They received between $1,000 and $7,000 to implement their ideas. And then after we give them funding, we meet and we work with them and introduce them to mentors so they can actually develop the ideas. And we'll tell you what kinds of ideas in a minute. And how many of you noticed Starbucks when you walked in? A couple. How many of you wanted to go? I was on my way there and I saw you all coming in. I said, oh, I guess I have to wait. But right next to Starbucks, and is our sign out? Folks. That
It's always my
sign,
fault. Yeah.
you gotta get the sign out there. Difference Maker Central is a space where if you're a difference maker, you can access that from 8 in the morning till 11 at night. We have whiteboards, we have computers, we have Legos, we have Tinker Toys, we've got resources and people. And the idea is to give you a space to help develop your idea. And there'll be a sign out there the next time you come by. So that's just a snapshot of some of the things that we do. Why do we do this? Excuse me. Have any of you seen the pillars walking around campus? I know it's new, right? This is your second morning. You came in yesterday. You slept here last night. You're running around campus. Keep an eye out for the pillars. You'll see little pop-up banners. You may see posters and elevators. The pillars are our vision of where this university is going, of where we're taking this university. Sure, this is a college and university, and there are lots of those around the country, and you had lots of choices about where you wanted to go. But I'm telling you that this place is different. This university is different than most universities. And it's not just because we have some awesome sports teams, we have a great music program, we have some wonderful academic programs, because we have co-op, because we have innovation centers. It's because we're going to give you the tools, and this institution across the board is committed to making a difference in this world. And these pillars were developed by the chancellor and the vice chancellor and the deans and the faculty and the staff and the students over the course of 5 years. And they help us to make decisions about where we're going, what kinds of programs we're going to introduce, what kinds of international programs, how we'll do co-op, why we have Difference Maker. Difference Maker exists because of these pillars. When we decided that we were going to be a public university for innovation and entrepreneurship, we needed a way to talk to you all about it, right? We needed a way to encourage you and support you and make this happen. And so Difference Maker is the way that we introduce innovative research and entrepreneurship and how we leverage our legacy in place. And I'll talk to you about that a little later. But these pillars are important. And as you think about what you're doing with your education, think about how it helps us to transform education, how it helps us to be a globally inclusive place, how we extend our reach out into other countries, other parts of the world, how we help to solve problems in other places, our impact on research and entrepreneurship in the region. Many of you, what majors do we have here today? Science and business, love it. Great fun. Any engineers? Not today. Science and business. So I started a graduate program, the Masters of Science in Innovation and Technology Entrepreneurship, that specifically links business, science, and engineering students together around solving problems, creating new products, new solutions, and creating businesses. Gianni's going to graduate from that program. Gianni Falzone is a graduate student. He's also an entrepreneurship co-op. We've got Phil Jeffroy. Phil is a student trustee. So Phil meets with the president and the board of trustees. He's an entrepreneurship Difference Maker co-op student as well. Demetrius is brand new on the team. He just joined us this summer, so these folks will be working with Difference Maker. And of course, I have to thank Holly Butler and Ha Fo, who are the staff who make all this magic happen. Me, I get up, I talk in front of people every couple of hours, but they do all the hard work. So our team is about making this a different place. So what are our goals? We want to introduce you to creative problem solving. We want to accelerate purpose. So as you're thinking about getting that business degree in finance or marketing, or you think about that chemistry degree or that biology degree, we also want you to think about, how can I really take advantage of my time here? So I'll tell you, I was a student here, an undergraduate here, many years ago, 1976. I grew up in Tewksbury. I used to pedal my bicycle from Tewksbury to North Campus. But the truth is, I wasn't the best undergraduate student. I tended to goof off a bit. And I was supposed to be an engineer, and it was really hard. And so I ended up on South Campus as a sociology major. And it took me kind of a while to figure out what I was going to do in life. But eventually I figured it out. But I didn't take advantage of everything that was here. And the truth is, there's a lot more here for you to take advantage of now. So part of what we're doing here is help you to think about how to take advantage of all of that. So who are the difference makers? Well, there are people like Savannah Marshall. There are people like Aaron Keeney, or Jonathan Daldera, or Gianni Falzone. Students just like you who sat in this room a couple of years ago who were wondering, what is this guy talking about? And why does he want me to make a difference in the world? Well, they are all doing it now. Right? They're all gone through, they're taking their courses, and then they've taken on something extra. And Gianni's working on a project, Mr. Meds. They're developing a robotic medication delivery system. You heard about Savannah developing this food truck idea that's going to bring music into the communities. We have the non-spec team, which is developing a prosthetic arm for kids in developing nations. So I mentioned the new venture comment, the idea challenge. We had it in this room. The winner this year was SOS, Support Our Students. Support Our Students is developing a program, and I didn't even know this was a problem, to help hungry college students, right? So if you're in the dorm, chances are you have to have a meal plan, right? So you have a way to eat. But about half of our students commute, and not all of them have a meal plan, not all of them have a nourishing breakfast, not all of them are able to afford the things that we need. These kids recognize it, and so they're putting together a program where you can donate, if you have a meal plan, you can donate a meal to the meal bank. And so a student who can't necessarily afford to buy themselves breakfast and lunch can draw on that meal bank. They just got funded in April, and already they've worked through the approvals for that. So that's an example of a team of students coming together to solve a problem that directly affects you. Non-STEM. They're solving a problem that affects kids in other parts of the world. They started as undergraduate engineering students. They're developing a prosthetic arm that will extend. And so the challenge with prosthetics for children is that as a child grows, the arm doesn't grow. So it becomes expensive to replace those arms. And if you're growing up in war-torn Africa or another part of the world where you don't have health insurance and these things are very expensive, you don't get an arm, right? So you walk around with a stub. So they're developing a low cost using 3D printers and rapid prototyping tools. These kids are developing an arm that will extend, that can be extended as the child grows older. They won last year's Difference Maker Challenge. They won $5,000 here. And then they go on to raise another $50,000. So this is a group of students sat in this room just like you about 4 years ago. And now they've gone on, maybe 5 now. They've gone on and they're actually in the business. We're helping them get a patent and they're forming a company to move their idea forward. Fresh Beats, we already talked a bit about. I got to check my time. How am I doing for time? I'm good. We talked a bit about Fresh Beats. So we have all these different programs going forward where students are pitching ideas and solving problems and making a difference in the world. So how do you make a difference? We try to keep it simple, right? Find a problem that you're passionate about, something that you care about, a problem that matters to you. Then find other people that want to help solve that problem. And get together. And then you have to investigate the opportunity associated with solving that problem. So that means talking to people who are actually affected by the problem. Don't solve it until you've talked to people who've lost a limb. Or you've talked to students who are hungry. Or you've looked at the issue of not enough food in the community or the lack of music education. You've got to talk to the kids and to the families and to the medical professionals, all the people that are affected by that problem. And the reason you do that, it helps you to better understand what type of solution you should come up with. And that way you can come up with a great solution. And when you work on solutions, you want to come up with a lot of solutions at first. Right? We call it brainstorming or ideation. You come up with lots of ideas, lots of solutions. And then you filter them after. And in fact, we're going to do that in just a minute. We're going to have you do some ideation, some brainstorming here. After you've done all that, you've filtered it down, then you worry about resources. I've learned in this role that you all don't necessarily have to worry about resources right away. If you come up with a good idea, and you can convince other people that it's a good idea, we can help you find resources to move that idea forward. And then the hard work comes of actually implementing your idea. So, we're going to come back to the brainstorming in a minute, but I want to anchor you a bit. So, this university, UMass Lowell, anybody know why it's here? Why did they build a university or a textile school? Yes?
For the industry.
For the industry. And what was that industry?
Textile.
Textile industry. You got a prize for that,
Yeah,
David?
who is it?
This gentleman. What's your name? Mark. So, and the reason, does anybody know why the textile industry is here? Yeah.
The river.
The river. What about it?
They gave the power from the water.
It's the 36-foot drop in that river, in that waterfall, right by the river. If that drop wasn't there, Lowell would not be here. This was all farmland back in the early 1800s. But about the time of the Civil War, they realized that they could harness power by running a canal through the city because of the drop, the force of that water. So over the course of the next 50 years, they built the canal system, they built the textile mills. And Mark is right on target. South Campus, Coburn Hall was built first. That was an old normal school. It was built, I think, 1897 to develop teachers. So first I realized as the mill workers were coming into the city, they need teachers to teach them and their children. Next, the building across the street, Southwick Hall, was built. And that was Lowell Textile Institute. And that was to educate the engineers and the managers that would work in those mills. So this institution exists because of that drop in the river. Pretty fascinating when you think about it. Next time you drive over that bridge, think about that. And so it's this area and this university's commitment to this region is important. And so I share that with you because of some challenges that we're facing now. So we have this wonderful university, we're helping the city revitalize, but now we're facing this big challenge of climate change. And so we know, as I've said before, that you're all a smart group of kids. The truth is you wouldn't have gotten in here if you weren't. You know the GPA is going up, the SAT is going up. We know that you're really smart. And so we need your help. We need your help solving this problem of climate change. And what we hope is that this conversation today gets a few of you thinking about this. And over the next 4 years, or if you go to grad school, the next 6 years, you decide to tackle and help us solve this problem. We'll give you the educational tools. We'll help you find resources. But you have to come up with the solutions. So, over the next, let's say, 10 minutes, what we'd like you to do, you've got a big sheet of paper in front of you, you've got markers on the table. What we'd like you to do is brainstorm some solutions to help address climate change. Now, climate change is a really big thing, right? And you can't, it's difficult to tackle a really big problem. So what you have to do is tackle a piece of it. So maybe you might say, well, how could I reduce carbon dioxide emissions from power plants? Or how can I reduce emissions from automobiles? Or how can I reduce or improve transportation, public transportation options? How could we use the river? How can we use the science and engineering and health knowledge of this university? So think about a small piece of that problem. Don't worry about solving the whole problem, right? You may not be able to make a change in what happens in a power plant in India or China, but you certainly can make a change about what happens on this campus and in this city. And we'll help you do that. So let's get started. Put those ideas down. I want to see 5 to 10 ideas on every sheet of paper within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to have a little more work for you to do after that. Every idea, put them all down, whether it's a big idea or a little idea. Don't filter the ideas. Please, I see you pick up a marker. Wonderful. Now take the cap off and stop right. Let's get some ideas up here. You have them, okay. All right, so what we want you to do here is we want you to take that list. We want you to pick one idea that you really like. And we're going to ask you to build it with Tinker Toys and with tape and with paper and whatever you got on your table. I want you to build that idea. So pick the idea that you really like and then build it.
Wait, why don't we build a light? You guys build it. I need some. What's this?
No, I. I sound like doing it smaller. I sound like this.
Alright, so there's other little pieces on top of that. Did you guys put together? There they are. No, she's right.
Oh, so it is not the
Give me some connectors.
You guys had a good idea? Still do all wrong, that's okay. Alright, we'll see. We'll see who's the winners again.
You want something? Alright, here you go.
I don't know.
Wait, as in like a windmill on an exercise bike? Or like,
That's what I'm saying.
what?
It's okay. She's a model.
I'm not saying which, I'm just saying there is one. That might be the one.
It might be the one,
It
but
might work.
Here's something like
this has to be connected. No, that's how they do it back in the city. No, nothing.
Working on that exercise bike.
We'll say double-handed because when you change
Maybe don't put that in.
yeah, I was gonna say use a new one. More material to do the same thing. Probably. We'll say picture like this. It's like a big turbine. There's a mini turbine inside of a big turbine. I don't know enough about windmills to argue, so I'm gonna have to let it go. And I'd say, you know, that could be right. I like the theory. The theory is solid. I mean, it's research. It's research.
Oh, I see the bike.
This is where like the energy is gonna go.
It's still wind on the other side.
The best invention, and Holly has some prizes here. And so let's pick a team. I was eyeing this team over here. This is Team Sheehy. Team Sheehy, why don't you come on up here and you can present your idea to the group.
Yeah, just a couple people go up.
What's your name? Liam. Here you go, Liam. Take the mic.
All right, so here we got here, we've called the Riverhawk 3000. If you look up here, it's just your regular wind turbine. You get the energy from the wind in the area. But then down here, this is the game changer right here. This is where you get your hydropower here, and then all is generated. So we're getting double power from both the wind and the water.
Excellent. Nice job, Team Sheehy. Hey, you got that go, all right. That's wow. Yeah, you can take this back. I think we should listen. All right, Team Concordia, come on up.
He does. Might have lost it in the fire competition. We've been making it up.
Come on. Who's presenting? All right, let's hear it. And what's your name? Abigail. Come on up, Abigail. And you're from here you go. Welcome. Here, I'll just hold it up.
This is not my invention or any of our inventions. It was just an idea that I supported online and I found it really interesting. Has anyone here heard of solar roadways?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do these yellow things represent?
Those don't look anything like what this supposed to look like. We couldn't quite figure out how to make it look like an actual panel. But basically the idea is to create, take the roads that we have now, because asphalt is pretty much useless besides it's asphalt when you drive on it, and tear it all up and replace it with panels of solar panels that are resistant to pressure. So instead of having a huge area of land cleared off to have a solar farm, you have land already available to you, just covered under.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. That was Concordia. Let's wander over here to Donahue. Come on up, Donahue. Who's pitching? And what's your name?
Clara.
Clara? Marlboro. Clara from Marlboro.
Okay, so this is our design, and basically what it is an exercise bike that is connected to kind of like a computer or any type of power source. So as the person is biking, you use that power to like power other stuff instead of electricity.
So to charge your iPhone or charge
Yeah.
your laptop? Very good. Thanks, Clara. You can work off those calories and charge your bike at the same time. Looking good. All right. Let's see. We've got the curb team here. What is the team? Team 4. No, you guys got to have a name. What's the shit say? What's this team's name?
Where's the sign sheet?
Come on, Johnny. Did you get a sign sheet?
Yeah.
Oh.
Team 4, call him Team 4.
All right. Who's pitching?
Yep. Nicely. The guards. Oh, it doesn't have blades.
All right, I'll come back. Who decided who's pitching? Who's pitching here? All right, go on. You can bring with you, yeah? We'll withhold the grip. Your name?
Michael? Yeah. So I know everyone's heard of double-decker bus. So this is a Windmobile double-decker bus. Powered by wind, obviously. I mean, it's a little, it's a prototype. So I mean, it might fall apart, but so obviously you get the big box here. You can fit double the seating, and then while you're in it, as you're driving, the wind is powering the bus.
Excellent. Wind-powered buses. Thank you. Excellent. That was, which team is this? Team Lion. Make a difference. Make a difference. All right. All right. I'm sure you've got a pitch all lined up now. Okay. Team 4. Who's pitching? All right. Good. Stand up. What's your name? AJ. AJ. Take it away.
So this is our wind-powered car.
Bus. You have a
Ours is a lot more aerodynamic.
Nice curves.
You know, we got the windmill, so when you drive, they're also pretty fast.
Excellent. Let's hear it. AJ and the wind-powered car. All right. Let's see. Make sure we don't leave anybody out up here. Team. It's on the top of your sign sheet. Riverview. Riverview. Who's pitching for Riverview? Your team? Okay.
Buddy, this is my boy, Mike. Yeah, so what we got for you today, y'all know what magnets are, I hope. We have a Maglev railway right here, and Mike, go into details, you're smiling.
So everyone knows there's a trolley system in place in Lowell, and the trolley system is just not efficient enough. So we thought we'd change that up. And so what we did is there's this electric maglev train trolley system, and what would happen is there'd be generators that would create an electric current through the tracks, which would then create a magnetic field, which would levitate this train. And because the train is levitating, there's no friction between it and the ground. So we thought it would be easily pushed along by something like wind. So we put these fins on the train, so the train could be pushed forward by the wind. So that would be an easy way for it to move around without using any energy, and because there's no gasoline involved, there'd be no pollution, and it's just kind of a clean replacement for the trolley system in Lowell.
Not only is it clean, but
It's going to be a minimal cost. All you have to do is create the electric current, which really isn't that expensive considering you're not actually pushing a giant metal object. The wind does it for you. So, I mean, it's going to be much cleaner and a much better way to get there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Team Riverview. All right. That brings us to the Saab ETIC team. What does ETIC stand for? Emerging Technology Innovation Center. That's this building. Who's pitching? Excellent. Stand up, introduce yourself, and pitch away.
Okay, my name is Chris, and I represent Team Saab Edic. What we have here is a rough mock-up of a bicycle taxi. And this is something that's actually in practice in lots of cities on the West Coast. We thought it would be very practical for our campus because everything's fairly accessible by bike. And so instead of using one of those taxis you see flying around campus, you can hire somebody to ride their bike and drive you across campus when you feel lazy. And this way we don't have any further emissions. It's just a bike after all, so you can get to class with your backpack without having to walk and without having to drive yourself.
Excellent, love it. Christian, you can do that and never be around this. You liking that idea? I like that. All right, last but certainly not least, Team Fox. Who's pitching? You can do it, Dave. You've got this beautiful backdrop of the difference maker posters.
All right. So I'm John Murphy, and this is our design. We decided to go with a wind turbine, but it's also mobile because sometimes it can interfect the places due to climate change or other factors. So it is a mobile wind turbine with solar panels on the back, just that extra.
All right, thank you, Team Fox. Love that. Mobile wind turbine. All right, folks. Now, these are great ideas. You did a wonderful job. I'm exceptionally impressed with your modeling skills as well, as long as bringing up some wonderful ideas to address this issue of climate change. So now, it's your chance to vote for the ideas. And what we want to do, Holly, you want to hold up that number to text to. You're going to send the text to 22333. And if Phil hits the start poll button, you will see a code. So based on Riverhawk, whether it's for she, the Riverhawk 3000, that's the code number you would text to 22333. Concordia, solar roadways. Donahue, bicycle generated power. Team 4, wind-powered car. Team Make a Difference, the wind-powered bus. You hear a theme. Riverview, the magnetic trolley system. Saab, ETIC, bicycle taxi, quick-to-market product. And Fox, the mobile wind turbine. So now's your chance to start voting. Take out your text, take out your iPad, get that text in. You don't have to vote for your own, you can vote for the best. Your own may be the best. The number to text to is 22333. Get those votes in. The polls won't be open all day. We do have prizes. I was liking that beat.
We didn't vote. Who's the snake?
Oh, wind power car. Team 4. You're tied now with the bicycle taxi. Team 4, wind powered car tied with Saab ETIC bicycle taxi. Wind powered car out and head bicycle taxi. Wind powered car. I feel like I'm calling a race. It is. Here we go. Oh, wind powered car pulling ahead. It's those nice curves that they got in that aerodynamic styling. Riverhawk. Oh, Riverhawk turbine coming up strong. Bicycle taxi. Looking forward. Oh, magnetic trolley system. Get those votes in. Close the polls momentarily. Get those votes in. Everybody up there voted? You can only vote once. The system will only allow you to vote once. All right. Ooh, little turbine. Just must have texted a friend and said vote from home. All right, folks, we're running out of time. It's close. We're going to have to close the polls. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Winner is Wind-Powered Car. Hold that up. Hold that model up for folks. Listen. Excellent. Let's hear it for Wind-Powered Car. You've already got some prizes. All right, folks, listen. Great ideas. I appreciate all of you taking the time to think a little bit about this. And we're really serious about wanting to help you to make a difference. And we do hope you'll remember us when you see us when you move in or at Convocation. I have a favor to ask. If at this point you would take apart those wonderful prototypes you developed and package them back up and put them in the box because we need to pack up for the next one. Thank you.